Hey everybody. Show live chat messages. Okay. Good evening, everybody. How's it going, eh? Um, that's right. Hashtag Back Issue Club. I figured, I'm just gonna take the initiative here and just go for it. Um, with my recent kind of culling of the collection and trimming it down to stuff that I want to hold on to, and kind of selling stuff in order to buy some bigger books, which is definitely one of the plans. Anybody who knows the channel, which is all 7 of you watching, being so close to completing the Daredevil run, it's kind of kicking me into high gear. I just put a few more things up on auction and sold some more books through the Facebook club that I'm part of here in Winnipeg, to kind of start getting some money to go towards those bigger books that I want. Daredevil specifically. So in the meantime, when it comes for stuff to read, it's one of those things that I know that we all get into it. I don't by any stretch think that I'm the only one that does it. Some of this stuff, especially when you go back issue diving, um, it's really hard to pass up. You've heard something great about a book. You've found a bunch of stuff that looks interesting, and it's been like 50 cents a pop or a buck a pop or something. It's really easy to kind of amass this collection where, especially if you're following new comics, but even if you're not, it gets a little difficult always to kind of keep up with everything that's coming in. So during this time of culling the collection, I'm really getting into reading more of my back issues and really making an effort to dig into some of these books. Um, this isn't necessarily one of them, but what I'm going to be talking about later will be. I've been digging into Mystery, um, reading this, dealing with some of the underground comics, ESPers I've been kind of digging into. And don't worry, Larasa, I haven't forgotten. We should try to kind of book a chat sooner than later in the next couple of weeks. I should have a bit of time. So that kind of leads me to this whole back issue club. Dr. Monkeybot had a video, a live stream a little while back, and we were kind of talking about it in the chat and kind of said it in passing. But all of us were kind of on the same page when it comes to it. One of the things that we miss about buying new comics is getting that chance to read books with people and kind of talk about the books more specifically. So I'm kind of throwing it out there to people. Not saying that you have to read everything I'm reading. I'm just going to kind of talk briefly about two books that I am currently reading. One I just started today. This one I finished yesterday afternoon. But this is volume one, which is the first, I think it was 13 issues in here. So Strikeforce Morituri is something, again, that I've found for... So I've always seen single issues. It doesn't seem like it's something extremely difficult for me to find. I don't know, obviously, if that's the same for everybody, but I thought this would be a good one to propose because it is out in a graphic novel form as well. If you can't find the issues or don't want to pay for the issues and want to just go a graphic novel route, there's an option for it. Like I said, I haven't picked up volume 2 yet. I'm hoping to later this week. That's the hopes. But even when I do pick up volume 2, it'll be on the back burner for a little bit because there's some other books I just want to catch up on. I really liked the first volume. There was some kind of inconsistencies. I don't want to say too much about it. I'd rather save that for anybody else who's interested. I know Johnny Zero had commented on that video, and he's going to start reading from issue 1 again, just to try to catch up. I'd like to save some of that chat for if we ever kind of go through with this and do a live hangout. I think that would be a fun thing to do. Was it perfect? No, absolutely not. There was some stuff that really kind of irked me and made it a couple of passages a little difficult to read. But overall, I thought it was a pretty strong read. I enjoyed it. I liked the concept. I liked where it was going. I think one of the things that really stood out to me is the idea of these people being turned into superheroes and then having this kind of maximum year-long lifespan and actually seeing characters die within the book and new characters come to take their place, I think is an interesting idea as well. So that's kind of that one. And then I was just posting about this on Twitter. Again, I gotta give props to Johnny Zero. Don't mean to make you blush, man, but this is another book that he had said in passing, and I again, it was another book that I remember seeing a lot. I found all the 6 issues a while back for cheap, or was this one that he sent me? Honestly, now I can't remember. I'm not sure if this was a gift from Johnny Zero or if I found it myself. Apologies if it was a gift from you. Anyway, it kind of made it into the back issue bins, into the boxes, and just yesterday or the day before, there was a post on Instagram where someone showed a couple of panels from this series, and they kind of spoke highly of it, triggering me to remember that, hey, I've got that series. Maybe I should check it out. It's Mensch and Glue Lacey, who I do really like as a team for the most part, although the 007 stuff that I read of theirs, I wasn't so crazy about, but that may be more of a fact that Gasp, I'm not the biggest James Bond fan. It's not like I dislike it. It's just, it's not a big thing for me. It's not a big part of my life. But as a creative team, I think they're fantastic. This is from '87, and seeing the colors and seeing the style of this book, I was sold as soon as I opened the book. The lead character, I'll just kind of give you a brief backstory to see so you can tell if it's going to be interesting to you or not. The lead character is kind of the stereotypical tough guy, loner, biking around in the middle of nowhere. Right away, we realize that dinosaurs are roaming the Earth. We get a hint of some alien invasion, and which we find out later are called these, what do they call them? Fuzzies. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Shapers, they call them, as well as I think fuzzies, I think, as well too. Anyway, it's this kind of alien species that's come down to Earth and are able to transform themselves to look like anything. They're messing with human beings' DNA, turning people into kind of various hybrids of animal/human. Not everybody, though, because you do still see a big chunk of humanity still looking like humans, but those humans have kind of become sadomasochistic and just really perverse, and there's this kind of underlying dirtiness to the whole thing. When it kind of, like, all the lead up and stuff was great, when it kind of clenched it for me was the fact that this alien species, there's another group of them coming down to Earth to kind of take control. Commander Karg is coming down to relieve Commander... Oh, man. Sark. Sarkh. So right away, great names. So he's coming down to relieve this commander of his post and kind of take over because, and I love this idea, love it. They've come down to Earth. This original group has come down to Earth, and instead of kind of roaming around and just killing everybody, they flat out just got bored. Just like any Joe at his job, at some point, all the kind of glitz and glamour just wears off, and you're just fucking bored, and you're just trying to make it through the day. So Sark and his gang are trying to make it through the day by having sex with Earth women, killing people kind of at random and at a moment's will, partying, drinking, eating, that sort of thing. I absolutely love it. I love that idea. And then we get an idea that there's another group of humans out there that aren't kind of bowing to the will of these shapers, and want to kind of fight back. So Blue here has gotten in contact with our hero / Maraud, and they're going to kind of go together to find this underground of people, and specifically a professor who was helping the aliens exploit human DNA, who's now kind of had a change of tune and wants to kind of help humanity. So, I mean, all that... and just look at these pages, man. Like, the coloring is fucking outstanding. So I'm sold on this completely. So that's another one. If anybody's interested, and you can find it. Please join me. And as I was saying before, Ms. Tree is still on my pile to read, although I'm quite a ways into it. The series Micra, that's on my. This box here is kind of some of the more newer stuff that's come into my into the house here, and stuff that I really want to read. Whoop, turning down the volume. Hopefully that doesn't affect the speaking volume. Anyway, Ditko's Worlds, Kafka is another one that I've just got. Mystery, obviously. This Revolver I'd like to kind of dig into. ESPers I'm going to be finishing. I'm almost done the second volume. I've got all 4 of them here, so I'm going to kind of work my way through that. So yeah, I mean, if any of those titles strike you in any way as interesting, join me for Back Issue Club. And I don't know, let's start enjoying and reading our back issues and pulling out those titles that deserve a shot. And you know me, the stranger the better. Case in point. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much, everybody, and we'll talk to you.